All right, welcome back, guys, wingers and wingettes, to another podcast episode. And today is going to be special. We have Mermaid Shay with us today. So this is really, really, really exciting because, she came across me on Threads and I looked at her profile and I was just stunned. I was very excited to just see another world which is full of mermaids, and she looks fabulous when she's doing it. I love it. She can tell you more about it. We're gonna get this is about her today. We're gonna get so much into this because I'm excited about it. I know some people are as well. But Shay, how are you? Thank you so much for coming on the episode. What's going on? How you doing?
Life is definitely lifing, and it's
Yes.
funny because I'm just like, there's something about interviews that are like grounding. And so my mother moved this weekend, and so that's been
Well,
like, yeah, a lot. And I'm like, you know what,
yeah.
I got somewhere to be. um
I can't stand the moving. I'm like, this time if I want to move again, I need movers. That's just coming, calling the friends and helping. I'm like, no, don't worry, guys. We're gonna get the professionals this time.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
can't. Is it a far move? Like she's going pretty far or close by for you?
Well, she's coming from far to close by,
Okay.
so
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good.
yeah.
That's good.
So this is
Well,
like
I'm
a
glad
nice
we
little
was able to
cap
get this.
to my weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because I know you were busy and I was busy, and then I'm like, all right, good. It was like Sunday at 8. I'm like, all right, we got it. Let's talk. Let's chat. Well, first off, everybody's like, well, why do you call her Mermaid Shay? Aren't you a mermaid?
I'm a mermaid. Shalom. I am a DC area mermaid model. So I swim in a tail, I perform in a tail, and I do a little bit of like
Yes.
motivational speaking and little motivational messages, all as my persona, Mermaid Chè
I love
Monique.
that.
I am a mermaid.
I love that. I love that. And how long have you been a mermaid for?
I mean, it depends on much how you want to count, arguably my whole life, but
Your
like
whole
in a
life, right,
very,
right, right. Yeah, yeah.
but
It's so weird because you got to ask, okay, mermaids. For a mermaid, for me, is going back to Ariel, and it's like, okay, Ariel's been a mermaid her whole life, so yes, you have been a mermaid your whole life, and that is like, wait, I have to remember. You have to think of it like this. This is your life. This is who you are. You are Mermaid Shay, and what how has it been in a professional setting? So it's like, you meet different other mermaids as well, right?
yeah,
And
we have the mer community is really special because it's so much bigger than you would think it is, but
yeah.
it's still pretty new and small. And the way I like to think of it is like, I'll tell you about our convention. Like our biggest mer convention had about 800 merfolk from several different countries. But then you think of like
Hmm.
a cosplay convention, and a huge one of those might have like 300,000 people. So to
Right, right,
think that
right.
you've got like 800 people coming in from all over the country and a couple other
Yeah.
countries, it's like, oh, wow, that was a thing. But then, if you compare it to like Dragon Con or something, you're like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
this really is kind of small. But it's a beautiful time to be a part of a community because I don't know, like
Yeah.
it's intimate.
Yeah. I like that because you're right. When it comes to the Comic Cons, I'm like, all right, we know everybody's into the comics. It's so huge, like you said, 300,000 people. And I like when the community can be very small, intimate, because you enjoy much more laughter together, much more moments, for pictures and everything, it becomes much more special, you
Yeah.
know. And I personally, I've always adored mermaids because I've always followed the Little Mermaid growing up, and I could just stay in water all day. If heck, like growing up, I'm like, I'll swim all day. And I don't know, how is it for you in the winter going and swimming and being in the ocean, but swimming for me, I'm like, I could stay in there for hours, but you're in there longer than I am. So how is that even in the winter?
Well, I mean, thank goodness for indoor pools. I am in the DC area, so in the
Uh-huh.
winter, it's indoor pools occasionally. A
Yeah.
couple years ago, I went I was featured at a yoga retreat to teach mermaiding. And so I got to like take this little quick
Mm,
trip to Mexico to like teach mermaiding. And it
nice.
was in like February, and it was like perfect timing, like right when you're like, okay, please bring me
Yeah.
some sun. So, I'm hoping that this mer journey gives me more opportunities to, go someplace
Huh?
warmer in the winter. But otherwise,
Yeah.
we make the indoor pools work. I do have one photographer friend who
Hmm.
is like anything for the shot. And so we have definitely and prefers to like shoot in the winter because there's compromise and higher risk. So they don't want to
Right.
be
Right.
out, like they don't want to go to the beach when there's millions of people. They're like, hey, it's February,
Hmm.
let's go to the beach. And
Yeah.
so I do kind of have this anything for the shot philosophy. So I have, done a couple frigid photo shoots where it's like, yeah, that water was like 30
Yeah.
degrees, but
He was
but
like,
it looks like it looks like the middle of the summer. It,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can make it to how you want to be, have the water feel how it wants to feel. In the summer, I know you are what they say outside. I know you're in that water outside, right?
oh yeah. Oh,
Enjoying it, enjoying it. Any like any like dreams or hopes of having like a beach house? You have a beach house? Did I ask the right one?
you asked the right one.
What was
Um,
it?
so again, Northern Virginia, right outside of DC, not a lot of beach here.
No,
And I think one day on Google Maps, I was just scrolling looking for water. I'm married to a man who loves to fish,
it's
ironically,
amazing.
and so like we both crave water. And I found this one neighborhood that has a swimmable lake in this area.
Nice.
Yeah, and so
Oh
I've been
wow.
dreaming of getting into this neighborhood forever. And we would like just drive by it and be like, oh, look at that beach house and look at this, whatever. So actually, I said my mother's moving. She did. She moved into a house in that neighborhood yesterday. But we will be
Okay.
joining her in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I looked, the beach I have access to is about a
Hmm.
mile from our house. But I
Okay.
looked at it on a map and it's like, okay, so it's our house and then it's the street and the people across the street and then the people behind them are actually waterfront. And so somehow looking at it on the map, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we're like, I don't know, a tenth of a mile from the dream. We're so close. So I'm getting
Yeah.
closer and closer and closer. So
So her move was first, and then yours is next, and then
mhm.
you're getting closer, right there to the water. And then your husband can fish. Is
He
that a
can
fishing
fish.
area as well?
Yep, yep. He
Oh,
actually
that's
went and
perfect.
started fishing today. And it's a pretty secured neighborhood. He's like, I already had a chat with security, and I'm like, well, and like talking about trying to move into this Thurgood Marshall integrated this neighborhood.
Hmm.
Okay, talking about moving into this neighborhood, we already knew it was like, okay, is this going to be a little interesting being the new colored folks in town
Right.
for a
How's that
while,
gonna be?
but we'll stand out, and eventually they'll
Hmm.
know us. We'll be friendly, and it'll be fine. It'll be a
Yeah.
challenging couple of months, but everybody will know us soon enough.
They'll know you. They'll know
And
you.
we haven't even moved in, and security already knows my husband. Isn't that great? Yeah,
Yeah. At least you know you'll be safe.
there,
you know.
right, right, exactly.
I like that. You have to get to know the neighborhood.
Yeah,
I personally want to get to know the neighborhood wherever I'm going to go, wherever I'm gonna go, visit. It's like a look up type of thing for me. So I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
that's great. I'm glad your husband went to venture out and found out. But it's really good that you are going to be able to just be around a wonderful and beautiful scenario and where you're going to live and it's you want where you're going to be magical or your dream home and you from looking at your page I've seen you just interacting with so much of the community and I saw the little girl that was tapping onto your to the tank. I love that. She was so intrigued like what's going on, and I'm like that was a perfect. And I know you are a founder of a society. What is that society called?
the Society of Fat Mermaids.
Love it. Love it. Society of Fat Mermaids. How did you come up with the name? What's it about?
Did I come up with the name? I know it's so on the nose. So
Yeah.
we're a size inclusive community and clothing line
Uh-huh.
that celebrates and centers fat folks.
There's a clothing
Um,
line?
yeah, there's swag.
Love
You can
it.
buy stuff with like these scales and like a whole bunch of different. We call
Uh-huh.
these our like what do we call them? Fin tones. Because I had the
Pantone.
designer do them in a bunch of different colors, and we have like leggings with those on them, and
I love that.
t-shirts with fat mermaids, all sorts of stuff. And I got the idea really essentially inspired by my mom. I too loved Ariel as a kid, but she did not buy me mermaid swag because she wanted me to have Black representation. So I could watch, movies, but any doll I had, any clothes I wore, any bed sheets I had, that character was going to be Black. Now
Yeah, I
I'm
fully
almost,
support that.
yeah, I'm almost 40 though. So
Uh-huh.
30 years ago, they didn't have, Tiana didn't come out till I was grown. And
Right.
so I didn't have it. And so there was this fat Latina woman wearing an Ariel shirt I saw a few years back. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm an adult. And if I want to buy an Ariel shirt, I
You
can.
can. Yeah,
But then I
exactly.
was like, but if somebody who looked more like Ariel were a mermaid with that looked more like me, that would be pretty rad. And so I had this local artist I know, I commissioned fat mermaids of like different
Okay.
ethnicities, skin tones, and she did a great job because she did different body types too. So they're like all fat and
Yeah,
curvy plus size, but they all have different body types. And we just launched t-shirts with just those images of those mermaids and like leggings with patterns of
that's
those
very
mermaids.
unique.
Um, and um, I'm a little lacking on my social media management lately, but I try to use our IG page to um, highlight both the clothes we sell, but also other like plus size mermaids in the community. We have a Facebook group which both
Hmm.
supports like actual merfolk, folks who
Okay.
swim with tails, and I'm launching an online school called School for Fish. So if you're like, I want to learn how to do this, like we're gonna
Yeah,
make that accessible. But it's
that's
also just a
wonderful.
place for like larger bodied people who love whimsy. And I think for me, part of calling it Society of Fat Mermaids was like just reclaiming the word fat, like calling it what it
Yeah,
is, and taking it away, like taking away the power of it being like a punchline or whatever.
exactly. And I'm so for that because calling it Society of Fat Mermaids, someone could say, and of course, I am fat myself. You can't really say that out to anybody. Oh, you fat. What? You call me fat? And it's like people don't understand. Yes, that's what I am. Like growing up, I'm like, are you cool? But now I'm like, yes, that's what I am. How can I help? It's not as crazy. But when you're being a little bit mean towards it, it's just like, okay, now I have to put you in your place a bit. Like, we get it. I'm fat. Here it is, but I'm living in it.
Yeah.
So calling Society of Fat Mermaids, I love it because you guys could just be yourselves, express yourselves, and have this community that's so strong. You guys have clothing lines. You guys have each other. You guys are standing for something that's so meaningful. Is there anything like memorable experiences that you had throughout being a mermaid all your life?
Yeah. Well, first I have to say, just for Society of Fat Mermaids, our like tagline is "Fat Mermaids Make Waves," so that's like our little chant.
Okay.
Um,
Making waves.
yes. Um, my best. Well, it's also great. Like I love Society of Fat Mermaids. So like last year,
Uh-huh.
or earlier this year at Mermagicon, we had a panel, and we've had this Fat Mermaids Make Waves panel a few times
Hmm.
now. And I don't know, I'm just really hyped because I was in a just hard emotional space, and it was hard for
Right.
me to go to the convention because at this
Right.
particular juncture, I am
Yeah.
one of the more well known mermaids.
Hmm.
And I was a little nervous. Like, okay, so there is a Chè Monique, and then there's a Mermaid Shay Monique. And Mermaid Shay
Okay.
Monique she's just always welcoming and always loving. And like, she rarely has a bad day. And even when she's having a bad day, she like eloquently tells people about how she's having a bad day so they can learn from it, you know? But like, actual Chè Monique was just not in the
Not with
mood
it
because
that
she was
day.
just going, well, not even that day. She just had a rough couple of months. And I was like, how am I about to show up at this convention and be her, because she's just
Yeah.
so great. She's better than me. And but I showed up and I did the thing, and we had the panel and the like Fat Mermaids Make Waves panel. It was like the most attended panel at the convention, and it just felt like really good to see like how strong our
Hmm.
community is, like our little sub community within the
Yeah.
community, and like to be reminded that I have like built something. Because I think as a creative in particular, like as a creative under capitalism, like you see yourself impacting people every day. But like
Hmm.
if that impact doesn't translate to dollars, you're like, oh, I'm wasting my life.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I
And
understand.
right.
I understand as creators. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it's just really cool to like physically be in a room with the people
Yeah.
that, have been impacted directly or indirectly by my work. And that was a very, very cool.
That's
Um,
uplifting.
yeah. Yeah. It
That
was
is.
just perfect timing for me.
Yeah, because once you're giving everybody your all, and you have the convention, and when people show out for you and what you believe in, it's like, wait, let me get myself together. Like, they came out for what I believe in and what I stand for and who we are. I'm about to, like you say, make waves. Like, it's
Yeah.
like it puts the mood that you were in to the side for a moment, because these people came out for you and for what they stand for, of course. And
Right.
it's like, here it is, and it makes every moment in that aspect a memorable moment. Like, like I've asked, like, what are those memorable experience? Anytime you come out there and someone is ready to learn what you will teach them and how you've been going about this all your life, that is a wonderful experience, because someone is ready to take that moment and say, well, Shay, I want to learn from you. Something that you have, somebody wants to take that and make it their own and learn about so much about themselves. And it's a wonderful thing about that. And my way of, when I look at your pictures, is you're glamorous. How many times are you changing your fins? Like, does it change on its own? Like, who's the designer? It is still just you, or is it so many other people that's changing the tails for you? Like, what's going on?
So the fact that I don't change my tails often,
Okay.
and you'll see like some of the tail companies like drop a new tail every month. Like Finfolk Productions, like when they drop a tail, I don't know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
when like I don't know, like a new Telfar bag is out or something. Like it's like people will be glued to their computer, like trying to
Yeah.
get in and get on the list. And I don't know, I just
Wow.
had this thing where I was like, well, if I grew it, it wouldn't change colors. And
Mm-hmm.
so for like the first 5-ish years, I'm like, I had a couple like tails that I started with. And then once I found like, I don't know,
Yeah.
a tail that was kind of me, um, that was it for like 5 years. And then I had the opportunity um, to join this performance group, the Circus Siren Pod. And one of the prerequisites to be a part of the Circus Siren Pod is to have a silicone tail.
Okay.
Um, and you'll see, I don't know if you watch the Netflix show,
I was
but
gonna ask you about Netflix. I was gonna tell you, what is it called? The Netflix.
it's
Tell
called
us.
Merpeople.
Okay.
But Mermaid Carriel actually gifted me a silicone tail.
Oh, nice.
And it does look like it changes like colors. It's beautiful. Her name is Millie.
Millie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She weighs about 40 pounds, like a
Okay.
little neck shoulder thing, because I still don't have a little backpack for her. But Millie
Yeah.
has this beautiful color shift kind of paint job. And so sometimes
Okay.
she looks more brown, and sometimes she looks more gold, and sometimes she's a little more green, and sometimes she's a little more pink.
Okay. I
But
like that.
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
ever since I don't know, like a year or two ago, um, if I'm in a tail, it's Millie. And so
Yeah.
I'm not a switcher. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, this is who I am. And
Yeah.
Mermaid Carriel has videos where like, so to do the silicone, I don't know exactly how they do it, but they make a mold. And so like to make
Uh-huh.
the mold, she like took a spoon and she's like carving into some
Mm-hmm.
clay, this like really intricate design for the
Yeah.
scales, like, and she hand carved it and then like, poured it out and painted it and surprised me with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Millie sounds amazing.
she is.
Millie sounds really amazing. And I'm like, it takes, how long does it take for them to get a tail together and then get it to you? Like, sounds like a lot of craft, because you said Millie changes colors. Like, when you're in the water, is there a change color effect, and you come out of the water for a moment? Is there a different color effect? Like, do they have to put a lot into, you know?
Yeah, I think it's my understanding is she did several coats of a color shift paint and
Mm,
in different directions. And I had a friend
okay.
who was a physicist who explained it to me because I used to have a car that had a color shift wrap. And I'm like,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
magic rainbow car. And he's like, well, actually, it's something, 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 the light reflecting on the sub. I don't know. So, like, at some point, my brain heard the physics behind it. I don't remember. But what I do know is that Mermaid
Hmm.
Carriel used several different colors of color shift paint.
Right.
And so it's not like it's in the water, it's one color. It's just how the light hits it and like what the angle is and like how my body is
Right.
bent. It's just, it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get it. So it's tailored to you, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically. And I like that. It's just made for you, not for anybody. I mean, it's your tail.
And that's
Nobody can wait.
all silicone tails are made to measure for the person, for the original owner. They're all made
Hmm.
to measure for the original owner. People will buy
Okay.
secondhand tails, and it's just like, but
I will
it's
have to
not.
get the original. I don't know what the can't do the same. I can't.
Well, and then like, I mean, I'm a big girl, and so like, I don't think there's anybody else my size with a silicone tail. So there was no secondhand tail for me, and it's
Okay, yeah.
funny because someone who knew I was in the market for a silicone tail
Hmm.
saw that there was a tail, and she's like, and it said plus size. But it was roughly the measurements were for someone who was like a 14, 16. And I'm like a
Hmm.
24, 26, maybe even a 28 right now. And so I'm like, oh, boo
Okay,
boo,
okay.
that's so sweet. Like it's plus size, but it
Yeah,
ain't
that's
my
not really.
size.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
say that all the
ain't.
time. I'm like, because I used to be in pants like a 30, 32, and then I got to a 26, 28 because I used to shop at the Avenue a lot. So,
Okay.
because there's not a lot of stores at
There's
the
not a
time.
lot of
Like,
stores, right?
yeah, now you got Shein and Fashion Nova that wants to tailor to bigger size and plus size and everybody else. But I'm like, what's your definition of plus size?
Right.
And if they say 14, I'm like, no, give me something in the 20s. So it's like a lot of the things that we have to get are tailored to us, are custom to us, and it is what it is. And I'm like, no, I can't get sometimes what a second, the second option. I have
Right.
to go with the first option. And I can imagine how much the tails are. My God. I can imagine how much those tails are, but it's worth it because they come out looking amazing. Like the way you described Millie. So I feel that tails right there is just like, and is that the one in the tank that
Yeah.
you had with the okay. Yeah, Millie looks amazing. Yeah, yeah. How was that the Netflix experience? How was it? I see it was shot in 2023.
It was
Well,
shot in 2022. It came out in 2023.
okay, it's still freshly new too. I have not seen every episode, but I know on TikTok I have seen it, and my wife and another three friends of mine. Oh yeah, I know her. I'm like, yeah,
Aw.
they're like, we know who this is, and I'm like, yes. I'm
Aw.
like, I have to watch it on Netflix because honestly, I did not know that there was such a community. And I honestly wish I've known because I've been a Disney princess my whole life. And like I said, of course, we only know Ariel. So following, I'm like, mermaids, I'm like, because I've always thought Santa was real. So I'm like, mermaids are real. I'm like, I used to tell people, I don't care what you say. There has to be, we can't get that deep into the ocean. There has to be a mermaid out there. I
Right.
don't care what you say. Even when watching Black Panther, Neymar, I don't, and I'm like, come on now. Did you see that? The people,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was so cool.
yes. I'm like, Neymar and his family are out there. I don't care what you say. They can live and breathe it, you know? And I'm like, I was so shocked, amazed, happy at the same time that there was way more. I thought it was just only you. I
Aw.
honestly thought it was just you. And I didn't know it was this a big community. How was that coming together for the Netflix show? Like, how was that?
It was just super fun and super cool. So, if you watch it, like basically they filmed at like
Mm-hmm.
some of our bigger events of the year, and so you'll see me at Afro Mermaid Summit. You'll see a little bit of the California Mermaid Convention, and you'll see us at Mermagicon. And so those were places we were like all
Right.
gonna be and all gonna hang out
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just a good time.
Yeah.
And like everybody's just always so happy to be there. I think mermaiding as a hobby attracts, a lot of people who are kind of
Mhm.
outsiders, in everyday life. There's a lot of queer folks. There's a lot of neurodivergent folks,
Free spirits? Yeah.
lots of free spirits, and
Uh-huh.
so I think there's something about like showing up at a place where it's like, oh, we're all just a bunch
Yeah.
of nerds, and like nobody's
Yeah.
judging you for being like, you're 35 and
Exactly.
you're still playing dress up, and it's like,
Exactly.
it's just, no, it's like, hey, can you, look
Yeah.
at your costume or look at this thing I got. And so
Mhm.
it's just such a fabulous
Yeah.
community. And like when we
I
come
love that.
together and then like, I mean, it's weird, we're instructed to not like talk about what it's like to have the cameras
Of
there. But
course.
obviously it's exciting.
Yeah.
You're already
Yeah.
you're already having this like huge party with all of your friends, even the ones you
Yeah.
just met 5 minutes ago. You're hanging out with them all weekend, and is that a camera? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like what?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I hear a lot. I watch a lot of Love is Blind, so I hear the backstories of them and stuff like that. There's things you can speak on, there's things you can't speak on, but it's just, I would, I am the outsider saying, I think it would be pretty cool to have this conversation, but it's like, dang, you got the cameras right there. But, you know, it's, I really have to see it because I was watching one of the previews of one of the guys, he had to get back in the water. And I always want to see, are you rolling to get back? How do you get back in the water? He's like, all right, he's scooching. He's scooching. Someone's assisting. I said, okay, here we go. It's a whole thing. I gotta watch.
yeah.
I gotta watch. It's great. Hopefully you guys get another season or something like that.
I would love that. I
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah.
So much fun. More Merfolk.
Right? Right? But what's your favorite underwater creature?
Sea turtles. 100%
Sea turtles?
sea turtles. Yeah.
Do you have any sea turtles pets? No?
No, I have stuffed sea turtle. Is he beside me? I like. It's
You
like
do?
yeah. I don't even know if he's right here. I got this table full of junk. This is a throwback. This is my little purple cow from Zany Brainy. If anybody's ever heard of that store,
I love that cow. I have not heard of that store, but I love that cow.
a little backpack.
Look at that's like a what is it called? Build a bear. That's what it reminds me of. Does it speak?
No, it doesn't speak.
Oh.
And I think somewhere past the cow, like, but I'd have to stand up to find it, is my little sea turtle. My niece found that in storage.
Does your niece is your niece a mermaid? Like how
she
does
is, and
okay.
she'll be 11 soon, and she's like my biggest fan, my biggest promoter, and my biggest hater. Okay, like all of those.
How did we get to the hater?
Because sometimes we'll be doing stuff and she's like, it's just a costume. It's not real. So she'll be like, I don't know why they're so like. So that's the hater. But promoter, she'll like, when she's at camp, she'll be like, you need to follow my aunt on TikTok. She's Mermaid Shay.
Right.
Like, on Netflix. Like, it's like her little flex. So,
yeah.
So she she'll be like, I was at camp and I made all my friends follow you. They're all following you now. And I'm like, thank you.
I see it now. The supporter, the promoter, and the hater.
But she'll film for me. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. And she's been doing it since she was super little. And she like takes her like video like very seriously.
Yeah.
We did a video. It was like around 4th of July, but it was also, it was 2020 or 2021. Like racial tensions were high, but it's the 4th of July. And so I like wanted to like, be like, I mean, I'm gonna have some fireworks and barbecue because it's fun, but like also like America ain't never really been for us, and so I forget exactly what I had to say, but I had something to say, and my mother had the like Black Lives Matter sign in her yard, and I think she also had like the like love is love, science is real, the sign.
Yes.
And
yes.
And so I say what I have to say, and then like my niece like zooms in on like the sign and like does this like slow pan. So like she takes her cinematography very seriously. So
she does.
Yeah, she's fun.
She could be your manager, your content.
Yes,
right?
I'm ready. Like she's 11 by the time she's 15.
It's a lot.
So much.
I recently just had my friend. I was like, I just need to hire you as a social media person, and please help me. It's a lot. People don't realize, but it's a lot of work, and you still have to go ahead and do your craft. Like, you still have to. I know you're a role model for a lot of the young mermaids coming up, right? You still have to be that person and have that moment of relaxation while things are still getting done. Do you have an event coming up soon?
No. I'm just getting through it. So the next big thing is launching. We're on break. I guess we are. The next big thing is launching School for Fish. I've got the content. Now I have to do the hard work. And and the work that's like not my natural zone of work. And then the next like big physical event will be Mermagicon the last weekend of February.
Okay. And you're the host for all these events.
Oh no. I'm not the host.
Oh,
I just show up.
Hold up.
But and you know, I might bend. We usually set up a booth for Society of Fat Mermaids. And I'll have I'll have certain things I'm responsible for within the event. But no, I am not the host. I am not. I just got to be there. No. I do not want to run a mermaid convention.
One day.
I don't think I want a convention, but I want a destination. I want a convention. I want a year-round commitment. There's this like lake I've been eyeballing, and I'm like, ooh, that could be a mermaid lake. So yeah. My big dream is a like underwater Vegas spectacular. Like,
well, if you don't mind me asking, how was your wedding? Like, was it on the beach?
No. Okay, I had an epic wedding. We had an epic wedding, but I had not started mermaiding yet. Actually, I got married. I used to do a lot of burlesque, and I used to produce a burlesque troupe called Chocolate City Burlesque and Cabaret. And I got married kind of at the tail end of like my burlesque career. The wedding was epic. It was at this amazing art festival that DC has called Artomatic. And so it was open to the public and like part of the art festival. And
that's nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. But we had to like make it as artsy as possible. And so we had like an African drummer. We had like a string quartet. We had like the bridesmaids' dresses were like custom designed by local designers. So I'm like, is it a wedding or is it a fashion show? I was just trying to incorporate as many like art features as possible.
Yeah.
So it was a really good time. It was super quirky. But there was nothing mermaidy there. There was a belly dancer. What else did we do? A jazz singer. And basically all of these people are my friends.
Well, your fins, your tail was still coming in. Your tail was still coming. It was still time. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
On Amazon, there's a documentary, and I think it might be called Mermaids, and the Harlem Mermaid, and she's really cool. Cookie. She's a bit older, Puerto Rican, and she's the Harlem Mermaid. She got married at a mermaid convention, and she got married in the pool. And they show her wedding in this documentary on Amazon. So if you want to see a mermaid wedding, and I think the documentary is literally just called Mermaids, but the Harlem Mermaid is in it, and the Harlem Mermaid's wedding is in it.
I have to check that out. The Harlem Mermaid got married in the ocean.
Yep, Cookie and Ralph
in Port Ocean.
Got married in the pool at Mermaidia.
I love that. Cookie and Ralph?
Yep.
I love
that. Wrangler Ralph. He's awesome. They're so sweet. And you'll see them in the Netflix thing as well. You'll see her in the Netflix.
He's a mermaid too?
No, he's just her, he's her pirate. He's her pirate wrangler. Yeah.
I love that. It's just like, you just be yourself, be who you want to be. And, have you ever gotten any like negative feedback or just good feedback throughout this?
So my in-person feedback is overwhelmingly positive.
Okay.
Online, I usually go viral when people are like, oh my gosh, she's so fat. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, is that what we said? And I'm like, is that the first thing that you can just think of? My first thing, let me see your profile pic. I'm like, no face. Like, come on.
Right. And so online, there's a lot of negativity. There's definitely like some people like absolutely follow me.
Yeah.
And like, because I'm like, oh, it's always you. And it's like, well, thank you for the attention. I'm glad I'm doing something for you. Cause like when I see content I actually don't like, I unfollow it or block it or hit don't show me more stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it's like you're obviously into it, but
yeah.
So that's your internal work to do.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get a lot of negativity online, but it's usually pretty redundant. And it's tricky because it does help me go viral. And
the more people comment, the more it pushes in the algorithm. The more shares.
And so, so I just think of them as like my like PR team, even though they don't realize it. just like, thank you. I could not pay for this kind of traction. So
Yeah, it's like
I
thank
appreciate,
you.
right.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I'm so happy that we were able to have this conversation and just chat about the mermaid lifestyle. And before we even go, like, what is a regular week for you?
So I got a day job and I'm a massage
Okay.
therapist. So I go there,
Okay.
so I like work there on Sunday today, then popped in, make sure my mom was good in the new house. Then came here
Okay.
and did an interview.
Uh
There's
huh.
probably, yeah, the regular week does usually have some kind of interview or press or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like admin, whether it's
Mm.
like making sure orders are straight for customers or,
Hmm.
you know, calling to like see what events I'm
Yeah.
going to be at. Like physical like performing days probably pop up like a couple times a month, and then that's depending on if it's like a wet performance. When I
Okay.
do swimming performances, when I'm done, I'm so done. So it's like okay, like I always say, like I just got to go home and like fall apart a little bit, like.
Mm-hmm. How long are you usually in the for the wet performance? How long are you usually in the tank for?
Just about an hour at a time. So I'll like go in for an
Okay.
hour and then like with like the one group I perform with, we rotate. And so you end up
Oh.
going in like kind of 2 hours over the course of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we rotate. And so or maybe I'll be at like a local meetup. We have like a really fun local community called Metro Merfolk.
Okay.
And those like meetups are like 2 hours and we'll just like, swim, and then usually you're starving. So we go out to eat
Yeah. The
and
water
like
makes you hungry.
so hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll get home and I'll just be like, I'm done. I'm done. Um, and it's like I don't know that I have a regular week, and I'm still like kind of coming to grips with that. It's like, are we
Hmm.
traveling? Is it a performance week? Is it like a
Yeah.
appearance week? I'm gonna kick off some mermaid classes soon
Right.
at a local pool, and so that'll be like a weekly thing. I'm not honestly swimming as much as I want to. Like I say I do that twice a week, but I don't. Uh, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to get that back in the schedule. Um,
Okay. No water for swimming this week?
no, not this week. This week we're gonna just
Really? Yeah,
hop so we can
yeah.
get closer to the lake.
Yeah,
Like yeah,
yeah. That's gonna be amazing. You have to take some nice pictures at the new house and at the lake.
yeah. I'm
That's gonna
so
really look
excited
great.
for the lake, and I'm like, oh, Millie's gonna look so good. I've only had her in like a natural body of water one time, and she was
Uh-huh.
actually it was my first time swimming with her. Was in Florida in one of the springs, and she just looks so pretty underwater. Like it's one of those like,
Yeah.
oh, like I really look like a fish. Like I really like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Because you are.
Good,
Because
because
you
I
are.
am. Well,
Right?
technically we're aquatic mammals, but
Aquatic mammals, okay.
yes, like which is also fun when people are like, "You're a whale," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Like most aquatic mammals are fat. Like we just,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's just part of the thing.
They're
So
just looking for something to say.
I realize like look, I'm fat, I'm black, I'm free, I'm fine. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
people ain't used to that. Like, they're not. And like,
Yeah.
I spent, the first half of my life, like, trying to, like, I was always on somebody's diet or something. It didn't work.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, well, this is who I am. We're just going to lean in and enjoy. But,
Yeah.
like, capitalism teaches people to hate themselves, that teaches them to hate each other. And I realize, like, for a lot of people, when they see me, because fat people are told to hide, and a lot of us do,
Yeah. And then we can't say certain things or we're not supposed to wear a certain thing. And I'm
Yeah,
like, why?
right.
I'm gonna look damn good on it.
You right? And
Work that.
so I think, for folks, like, when they see me, as much as they're saying something ugly, I think of it as like the first time you try a new food. If you're not expecting it, you're like, and
Hmm.
once you know what it is, somebody's like, oh, that's just a like date salad. You like eat it again and you're like, oh, that's actually kind of tasty. But like, I think just
Right.
the newness just scatters people's brains a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, like if I can be online and I can be, a happy, fat, free, fat
Yeah.
person for them, and they can be nicer to the person they
Hmm.
actually see in real life, it's fine.
Yeah. We
It
have
is
to like
A-okay.
we just take the punches,
You know,
roll with it. We can give pushback, but it's like I just feel like honestly they just hating. Honestly, like
they
I've been
are.
bullied. I told people all the time I've been bullied all my life, like growing up, and then now everybody they all want to be my friend. Hey guys, what you doing? Like no, didn't you just say? And I'm like, it is. I embrace it. I work the magic in it. I like my wife says. I think you just like being big. You just love. I'm happy in it. Like, it's just like I don't. I've been this all my life. I don't know any other way to be. I've tried different ways. Tried the vegan stuff. It's not for me. Um, unfortunately, I eat fish, so I'm sorry. Eat your friends. But
Fish are friends, not
fish are
food.
friends, not food. But it's just it's something that we learned to love and we'll always love and adore, and that's just being ourselves.
That part.
And the best takeaway from this is you, because I don't have this many opportunities to speak to mermaids. you know so
If you want to talk some
I'm
more, let me know. I can put you
yeah,
on.
yeah, like I would love to just like go to, if you have a convention, where the next one, if it's in New York or if it's where you said Virginia.
Right outside of DC. Actually, it's in Maryland now. It's in Silver Spring.
Okay, I have
So
to go to one. I have
yeah,
to.
it's MerMagicCon in February, and then there's the Coney Island Mermaid Parade.
Okay, yeah,
You
that's
know
right
about
here.
that? Yes, right
No,
there. What?
no,
I think the Coney
no.
Island Parade has been happening for like 30 years or something. I've never been.
I did not know.
I've never,
I'm
yeah,
telling you.
but Coney Island Mermaid Parade, that is like, I think it's like the second-ish weekend in June, give or take.
Okay.
Like I think it's like right
Did you go to
before Father's
those?
Day. I've never been. I really want to go. First I didn't go because I was usually in DC's Pride Parade, and that was
Hmm.
always like the week before Coney Island, and so I was just
Hmm.
burnt out from DC Pride, and I was like, I can't go to New York next weekend. Like
Yeah.
I'm still dead.
Yeah.
And then happy but dead.
Happy.
Like so I didn't
Yeah.
go.
Uh-huh.
And now it conflicts with the Afro Mermaid Summit in Miami.
Hmm.
And so I'm trying to figure out a life where I can go to like Afro Mermaid one year and then Coney Island the next
Right.
and go back
Yeah.
and forth. But Cookie the Harlem Mermaid is always at Coney Island. And it's fun because there's a lot of like
Yeah.
both the merfolk who like actually swim in the tails like me, and then just a lot of people getting dressed up and having like a great time, just having fun.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
a big festival in New
Oh
York.
wow.
It's a like I mean I it's a
Yeah.
big
It's
thing
something
that
to
I've
see.
never
Yeah,
been
I have
to.
to.
Yeah,
I have to go. I'll go and I'll take pictures. I'm like, you
take
should have been.
pictures. Yeah,
You wish you were here, son. That's gonna be
I
amazing.
do wish I
I
were
gotta go.
there. One
I
day,
know. I'll
one
take
day,
pictures
one
for you.
day.
I'll
I
take
appreciate it.
pictures. I'll send you the pictures. Don't worry.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this episode. This was a treat for me to have this conversation.
Well, thank you so much for having me, sharing your platform with me. I super
Yes.
appreciate it.
And I know the people watching are going to be excited because they literally saying, "Oh my God, I know exactly who this is." And I'm like, and I'm
Aw.
starting to realize who this is. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be great. We'll make sure we get this right out for you.
All right.
Well,
Fantastic.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's been an honor. It's great. And more to see for you. And can you tell everybody where can we find Mermaid Shay?
All right. Mermaid Chè Monique is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Mermaid Chè Monique. So that's Mermaid, CheMonique. And the Society of Fat Mermaids is all of those places with less consistent posting. We're getting close to the new year, so it's time to make those social media resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're new to us, you can just go through our back catalog. So we're societyofatmermaids.com, and then Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Society of Fat Mermaids.
There we go. There we have it.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess I'm on
Guys.
Threads because that's how we met.
Yes, that's
But
how
I
we
don't
met.
usually work it. Like I'm
Don't
like
worry
I
about
don't
it.
know.
You post and you repost or you reply. You want to actually message somebody, you go to their profile and it takes you to the Instagram DM. That's really, it's all one connected.
Okay. All right. I'm
Yeah.
figuring it out. I'm like,
Yeah, me as well. As well.
okay. But hey,
Yeah.
this worked. So,
Yeah. Keep posting on there. You can get paid on there too. If
Okay.
you keep traction going and people, yeah, that's what I heard. But we learn something every day.
We'll see. All right.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening and watching Wingers and Wingettes. Again, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Thank you, and I'll see y'all later.